Hello and welcome to the stream. It's number 51 of the Digital Homicides Streamcast. With me as always since 5 years. Is Lothar. So let me 5 years. Is Lothar. So let me 5 years here. Hi Lothar. So let me 5 years here. Hi Lothar. So, what are we talking about today? So, you're the master, you're the MC today, the master of ceremony. You're the master, you're the MC today, the master of ceremony. You're the master, you're the MC today, the master of ceremony. You're the master, you're the MC today, the master of ceremony. You're the master, you're the MC today, the master of ceremony. You're the master, you're the MC today, the master of ceremony. Coincidence that there's a sale at the moment. 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 Hello. Hello. Wait. Okay, but. Hello. Wait. Yeah. Okay, but. Hello. Wait. Yeah. Okay, Lothar, keep talking. 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 Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, wait a second. For some reason, wait a second. Not picking you up. Yeah, wait a second. For some reason, wait a second. Not picking you up. Me twice. Why me twice? Me twice. Why me twice? Does you twice? How is the mic quality for you at the moment? Should be. How is the mic quality for you at the moment? Should be. How is the mic quality for you at the moment? Should be. How is the mic quality for you at the moment? Should be. How is the mic quality for you at the moment? Yeah. So. Yeah. Why? So. Yeah. Why? So. Yeah. You can still hear me, right? Okay. Okay, I fixed that by just unplugging my freaking mic from the headset. That should be fine. Okay, so now let's figure out why the heck the unit let's figure out on stream why people cannot hear you. Unit let's figure out on stream why people cannot hear you. Unit let's figure out on stream why people cannot hear you. I mean, I see the volume slider go up, but. I mean, I see the volume slider go up, but okay. I mean, maybe go up, but maybe here. Aber danke. Oh. Aber danke. OBS. Say something.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, that works. Oh, what do the kids do these days? Ey, danke. Nee, echt ernsthaft, weil ist mir nicht aufgefallen. Ich sehe Slider, die sich bewegen und so. Okay. Yeah, now that works. Perfect. Yeah. To translate for you, Lothar and others, he just said that well, basically, he normally doesn't have the tab unmuted. So, yeah. He could hear echo and stuff. So, and you were not on stream. So.
All I understand is tab is nicht.
But yeah, OBS basically did one thing. Let's put the output to default. That's always a good idea if you have multiple things attached that are related to audio, like NVIDIA Broadcast wanting to take care of the mic and the speaker, so you have that as an extra device. Even though it's not used, but I could use it for making the audio better and stuff. Same for the camera. My camera was active, but I didn't see anything. Yeah, because OBS said, "Oh, NVIDIA Broadcast is the camera." Yeah, no. What I use for my cam is my camera, but that uses in the background NVIDIA Broadcast's green screen removal. So I have no other green screen removal or so. That's all automated by NVIDIA AI. So it's a combination, but it's so weird. NVIDIA is on all multimedia devices basically to make them better, but yeah. If anything puts it to default, yeah, it defaults to that shit, and then I have nothing. Because that's basically just software, you know? It's just like activating looking and listening through the filter, and yeah, but just the filter, nothing else. It's like
so I guess everything is sorted now.
Yeah. It's like starting Unreal Engine and hoping to be able to play a game that you look at the store just because the engine is running on the other screen or so.
Okay, people can just look at me and I don't know, donate maybe.
Yeah, I know that's enough. That's absolutely enough. Worth it. Worth it for the ticket price. Wait, what? Okay, so yeah. You were saying...
I'm not going to repeat whatever I was mumbling about before that, because I'm pretty much sure that I will not repeat that stuff.
Well, pretty much the quick one. It came out for what's the PSP and cost $30 back then, and it's not worth the price today.
Yeah, but Persona 3 Portable specifically. It was remake of Persona 2 to from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation Portable, and as far as I can tell, PlayStation Portable emulator have much better graphics than this straight port from PlayStation Portable to Xbox and PC.
Ooh, so they reported a port.
It's not the first time when they did this. Well,
I mean,
they
ported.
It
looks okay.
Yeah, it looks okay because on PlayStation Portable they already used upscaled imagery, but I'm pretty sure that Atlus using AI upscaling, because I bought before that Shin Megami Tensei 3. Okay, I'm going to call it Lucifer's Call because I know it under Lucifer's Call. It's also known as Nocturnal, but anyway. Shin Megami Tensei... I bought Shin Megami Tensei 3 and it's basically straight port from PlayStation 2 to PC. Well, they added one additional dungeon, but you can see how they upscaled imagery using some sort of AI or something like that. Well, basically, what is sold like remake... can you look for Shin Megami Tensei 3? What's sold as remake is practically just a port from PlayStation 2. Yeah, I think I should send you the name.
This one? Oh yeah, I forgot the age. But this one?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, 50
You
bucks.
can see that models are upscaled, that background is upscaled, but you also can see those artifacts with writings when it's like, yeah, it's upscaled, but you can see that it wasn't upscaled by the hands.
And you can, you know the difference between those two? This one actually tells you in the game title already that this is an HD remaster. So you buy an old game, you know. So
Yeah, but most offensive stuff is down below under DLCs. You see, Shin Megami Tensei 3 was released 3 times. First time was the original. Second time was featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Third time, when they ran out of license for Dante, they re-released the game featuring Raido Kuzunoha from Devil Summoner series.
oh, okay.
And they sell it as different DLCs, while it's practically one single game.
And I mean, okay, it's free, but I mean, the merciful difficulty and the chronicle pack is free, so why not just put it in the game? Why make it a DLC?
I don't know, but I didn't try merciful difficulty, but all I can tell is
mode.
they definitely didn't bother with tweaking enemy balance with those two featuring Dante and featuring Raido Kuzunoha. Those games are basically infamous for having Matador encounter quite early in the game, and this Matador encounter is basically a run killer.
You know what's kind of interesting? That well, first for an HD remaster, 50 bucks, questionable. But
it's not questionable; it's overpriced.
Yeah, that's questionable is my nice way of saying maybe a bit too much. Anyway, with all the DLCs, the deluxe basically ends up being the regular base price of a game today. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we had episodes about DLCs and shit like that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to mention DLCs again when we bounce back to Persona.
Yeah, that's that actually. So yeah, with Persona, I don't know, that Persona Reload sounds more like when you get a Redux version on PC. Like, oh yeah, that just came out new a few years ago, and yeah, that's the better version, newer graphics or something.
Well, it's practically is, but it's full. It's basically full remake of Persona, Persona 3 specifically. Unlike Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 Royal, and Persona 3 Portable, it's not a previous port. It's basically fully developed game specifically for PC. Well, for PC and modern consoles. It's a modern Persona. Yes, I'm saying that this is modern Persona because Persona 5 was developed for generation of PlayStation 3 and then ported into PlayStation 4. Yes, it's complicated.
Why, why not just make a freaking new game? Like I don't.
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest, I have no freaking idea. But
it's easier. It's yeah, but they can save money. They just remake old shit.
I would say that it's. I would put all the blame for this on Sega. I will specifically blame Sega in this pricing and whatever Atlus releasing, because during PlayStation 2 era we had Shin Megami Tensei 3, we had Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 3 FS, Devil Summoner, Raidou Kuzunoha Devil Summoner 1 and 2. We had Digital Devil Saga. We had Devils, and then we going into the different generation with Devil's Children 1 and 2, Shin Megami Tensei 4. All three games was developed for Nintendo DS. We had Persona Arena, we had Persona Q Labyrinth, we had dancing game related to Persona, and you already can see that starting with, after the end of PlayStation 2 era, it's kind of going downwards. Basically, major releases on handheld consoles, including release of Persona 4 Golden for PlayStation Vita, and a bunch of spin-offs for Persona. Atlus basically was trying to save as much money and don't go bankrupt as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of milking a franchise.
Yeah, you can say, but it's not like they didn't try to make new games. As I said, Shin Megami Tensei 4 was a new step in evolution of specifically Atlus JRPGs. And Devil Children is... No. Devil Survivor was a completely new IP while going under the similar team of... the similar themes for Atlus of ending the world, going into pacts with demons, and supernatural causes, supernatural problems dealt with supernatural solutions.
Focus.
So yeah, basically like that. During this time,
$100 for the digital what?
I would say the digital premium edition is basically the only edition that you should buy of Persona 3 Reloaded.
I mean,
and that because of the answer.
I hate when companies have different versions that are basically suggesting that it's the best version, you know, like digital deluxe. That's the end of the road for me, you know. That's the maximum.
But you know,
more premium than deluxe.
I don't know. Let's put that solely on Sega that want to milk Atlus franchises as much as they want to. Yes, I will put most of the blame on Sega no matter what.
Okay, there are a lot of DLCs that you can really skip.
Yeah, basically most of those DLCs are absolutely useless. The only one is Aegis DLC. That's the only mandatory DLC that you must buy.
Which one?
I know that I sent you the link to on this. Yeah, expansion pass. That one for 35 bucks.
I expected that's just containing all the others.
No, it's completely separate container with DLCs, and you can see that mostly negative is the right reaction to that.
There's nothing from the other. Okay, yeah, I that's what I expected. I thought, okay, you have all those skins and blah blah blah. Okay, that will be in the DLC or in the expansion.
No,
save them.
it's
Holy
completely
shit.
separate entity. And the most insulting thing is, it's the true ending of Persona 3. It was released 1 month after they released Persona 3. And they, with straight face, saying that it's not cut content.
It says right here, story content scenario, episode Aegis, the answer.
Yes,
Wow.
it's basically Persona 3 FAS. It's the full experience of Persona.
Hey, DJ Beats, welcome. Your son is handsome like you. Yeah. Oh boy.
You're not looking at me, so right. Good thing.
The answer. 30 hours additional gameplay.
And
Wow.
again, 30 hours is a hard estimation. Because I don't remember how much time I spent beating FES, but it was 26, 28 hours while using save state.
Mm-hmm.
I abused save state in PlayStation 2 version just to get the best possible results.
Mm.
But again, PlayStation 2 version had uncontrollable followers, so you just gave them you going to focus on healing, you going to focus on attacking, you going to focus on buffing, and let's hope we won't die. That's how it used to be in Persona 3.
Oh.
Yeah, it was rough. It was really, really rough.
But I mean, you did you play it? This version?
Yes, I played it. I own it.
So how does it end? Is it just like a cliffhanger, like to be continued, or?
Oh, it's and I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I became distracted with another stuff, and I'm pretty sure that it ends like Persona 3 should end. So I know how Persona 3 must end. I absolutely know that. It wouldn't be a surprise for me how this version would end.
Ooh.
Persona 3 ending with a really long end boss fight and ultimate sacrifice.
Mm. Yeah, this is the first time, or not the first time, but one of the few times where you actually have to sum up all the prices of the DLCs to get the whole price. Normally you can take away the season pass or whatever because, well, that's normally the single part, but here,
Yeah.
$63 to get all the content if you decide to just get the base game. So, ouch.
Yeah, and I bought just a base game. And when I learned that I have to buy episode Aegis as well, and that it can't be bought separately outside of expansion pass, I was pissed.
That's even worse. Well, here in my case, you pay the $30 for the content, for the gameplay, because 30-hour extra gameplay, and $5 is for the goodies like music and whatnot.
Yeah,
Boy.
Well, it's not like Persona 3 music is bad. It's good.
Yeah.
But I have one big but. Persona 3 is a dark game. While Persona 3
Is it too
Persona
happy?
3 Reloaded opening are completely missing the mark.
A bit too happy?
I'm just going to send it to you. You can play it and basically watch it, but I'm going to say that music probably will be copyrighted.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Well, it's just music, right? So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I cannot show the video.
Ouch.
And I cannot hear the music. Wait, what? Huh? How is that possible now? Huh? What? Huh? Wait a second. I mean,
Now you can't hear the music from the browser.
No, it's running in Discord. Yeah, okay.
I'm on Discord, and you can hear me.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, wait, what? Something's not adding up here. Something's not correct here. For everybody watching, I had to figure out some issues before we did the stream. I cannot hear that either. Huh?
Yeah, and it looks like issue wasn't resolved by only found a workaround.
I don't know. Huh? I don't hear my browser and I don't see any volume going up. Huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Hey Lothar, you know what's interesting?
What?
Never mind. That's just what I'm doing when people say something like that. Yeah, tell me about it, and then I tell them about it. Yeah, I have no idea. Everything seems okay, but I have no audio in my browser for some weird reason. Yeah, tab is not muted or anything. The video is playing. I have no audio. I have no idea. Wow, okay, that's a new one.
You know, you basically making me question a lot, like are we even alive today?
I mean, I don't question that. The thing is, lately I don't often use my camera, and the thing is, yeah, all the audio stuff and things. I also have my PC. That audio is also coming in here to my stream PC. Because everything that you see now is my stream PC. Normally that would be my game PC. Well, partly. Well, anyway, I cannot listen to the music. So. I could, wait, I mean, I can listen to it here. Kinda-ish.
Well, too bad that you can't show it.
Huh? What? No, you're supposed to copy that and not the... I copied the address and for some reason... What the... Why is it... Why is it copying Twitch chat? What the hell? Thank you.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it copied the link to pop out the chat, which makes no sense. I marked the link, the website, right-clicked it and copied it. Nothing else. I just copied, and it was like copy URL from Steam Store. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay, let's see. Okay, I hear it and it's coming through. Technology that's working.
Oh, by the way, animated parts always was good.
Crazy how time flies when I wonder if the path is in the right direction. But I do believe things come to light by accident when your name's on. Sounds like it's meant to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I can hear your mic picking up the audio somehow.
Yeah, but I had to turn it up a little bit. Yeah, but it's ah la 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 la. Ah, we're a happy anime. La la la.
Yeah.
Ah, let's get some bubble tea, or I don't know.
Yeah, and that's how it used to be.
Okay, let's see what my PC is copying this time.
Well, fingers crossed.
That worked. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. Yeah, okay.
And it's already starting with Memento Mori. And for people who don't know what it does mean, right under Memento Mori written, remember that you're mortal.
But the music is kinda similar. I expected it to be a bit darker or so, but
this one called Burn My Dread. So yeah.
I know mostly the music from 4 and 5.
Yeah, because 4 is more used to be the most recent one, and 5, well, it's the last one.
Yeah, not from a few years ago, not remake, remaster, anything.
Yeah.
I watched somebody, well, back in the day, I watched somebody play a lot of Persona. And the music was one of the first things that actually got me interested in the game, because the music was so cool. And it fits so well. And it was mostly, I don't know the title of that. Basically singing about the different worlds. When they go into the
backside of the TV.
Yeah, exactly, that one. Yeah, exactly.
I will just mute this song and continue the video just to get the whole picture how different the original video from the new one, and I'll find the backside of the TV and just post it in the chat for everybody interested. Not to be played right now.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's the one that got me interested.
Well, yeah. Even though Persona 4 is a lot more cheering, backside of the TV for the Otherworld hub. Pretty much dark.
Yeah. It fits so well with all those personas, those persona demons or whatever you want to call them.
Persona is basically a representation of human inner world, but represented with god, demon, or something like that. Some sort of, let's say, otherworld deity. Because we basically have a lot of stuff like that in Persona series. Falls in Megami Tensei, playing with the idea of mashing together demons, gods, and whatnot from different mythologies. So you have stuff from Germanic, from Old Norse mythologies, from Japanese mythologies, for sure, from Indochina mythology and whatnot.
That's
And
cool.
even
a lot of things that you might have never seen or saw in any other game or adaptation or something.
yeah, and specifically with Devil Summon Raido Kuzunoha Duology, you have Chernobog, basically a god from Slavic mythology, and Rasputin as well as one of the enemies.
Okay.
Yeah, that Rasputin.
He's not gonna die, is he?
You need to try to kill him. That's all I'm going to say. I know that you probably will never play it.
No, I meant related to reality. Didn't they?
He's a cyborg.
Yeah, okay. No, but in real life, didn't they stab him, hang him, drown him, shoot him, poisoned him or something? Wasn't that
So
Rasputin?
they basically poisoned him, but they probably used poison that was disintegrating within sugar. Well, they put poison into the cake, so poison probably was neutralized by the sweets in the cake. After that, they put a
Rope.
rope around his neck to choke him. And to make extra sure that he will die, one of them is stab him, and the other is pulled his gun and shot him. And after they were sure that he's dead, they drove him to Neva and throw him into the water.
Okay, so it wasn't like damn it, he's not dying. They just wanted to make sure he's definitely dead.
Well, let's just say that a lot of people was pissed with him. Like, really pissed with him.
So everybody killed him in their own way, basically.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Okay, but so the myth basically made him like, oh, he was that undying being that needed to be killed several ways because one was just not enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's basically just because he they tried to poison him and poison didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. All of the other stuff was made up by human minds and basically was exported abroad with people from white movement.
Yeah, okay. Funny. Alright.
In a way, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's how shit like that starts, you know. I heard he didn't want to die. Then he, yeah. Oh, I heard that wasn't enough.
Well, people also think that Anastasia, the youngest daughter, survived the slaughter, but no, she didn't.
Yeah, didn't they find remains or so?
Yeah,
few
I
years or
think
so?
in 2008 or 2009 or something like that, when Nikolai II was canonized by Russian Orthodox Church, they found his remnants, and not only his, but also his whole family and people who was executed alongside him.
Mm.
So yeah, it's basically put across on every potential survived princess.
Mm.
So yeah, in Russia it wasn't like Anastasia survived, but like his son survived. He for sure didn't.
Mm.
And even when we found, oh no, think with fake Anastasias was real Anastasia was a royal blood and was related to German nobility.
Mm.
So one of the aunt, I think I'm saying it right. So one of her relatives,
Aunt.
aunt, one of her aunts traveled to France to see one of those Anastasia women who claim that she's Anastasia, and said that that's definitely not Anastasia.
Okay.
But that woman that claimed that she's Anastasia still continue to claim that she's Anastasia, but along nobility, that was for sure that Anastasia didn't survive.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just a bit offshore with
Little history
with just the
lesson.
fact that with just the fact that one of the games from Atlas had Rasputin in it.
Sorry, I asked. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. So, but what's also good about Persona, it's let's just say that story is sort of believable. And I'm saying sort of because, well, shit that happening in Persona, it's you kinda need to stretch your definition of believable and suspend a lot of disbelief.
Yeah,
But yeah. So the main thing is with Persona is that they used supernational solution for supernatural problems, like tower that appearing at the dark hour that exists between midnight one day and between midnight of the other day. So basically, all hour hidden in between of that, and there is a freaking tower that have labyrinth in it filled with shadows, that physical representations of human emotions. Officials can't deal with it because they can't even have an access to this tower, because people without the potential can't even be in the dark hour. They all turned into coffins. And all electricity ain't working at all during the dark hour.
That with the tower, that kinda reminds me of Dante, where he's going through different layers of hell, which is well kinda like a tower downside, not upside, it's downside.
Tower called Tartarus.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, there's those coincidences not so yeah,
It's not a coincidence. It's
not coincidence. Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, and the main point of it, you should stop the death itself. You should stop nicks. That's the point of Persona 3. And the thing is that you can stop death only by ultimate sacrifice, by sacrificing yourself. And that's the end of Persona 3. Yes, I'm not afraid to spoil it because Persona 3 is PlayStation 2 game and I don't care that it was released recently.
Yeah, people had time to stumble upon the ending for a few years. So
Yeah.
it's like saying, I don't know, Darth Vader
The
is
sun
Luke's
was
father.
blown up.
The Titanic
Yeah.
sinks at the end of the movie.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
yeah, again, supernatural problem, supernatural solution. But between all of those layers of day-to-day grind, like building your social links, building your relationships with your classmates, with people from parallel classes, with elderly, with young people, with people that are your age, with grown-ups. It's all put into a really good written story about complicated life of teenagers, about life basically some sort of outcasts who how emotional trauma can basically turn you into a self-destructing ticking bomb, and it's even covering topics about suicides and whatnot.
Yeah, it
Persona,
covers a lot of high school stuff, basically. High school
yeah,
teenager related things, and I that's one of the things that I liked most about the game. But that's also something that a lot of Japanese games do really nicely. Maybe a bit too much in the Yakuza
well,
series and stuff.
let's just say that Persona, specifically Persona, is unique in this occasion because it's not just pointing out that this exists, it's part of the story. It's not just exist in the story. While you're playing, you're going through that, and it's part of the story. It's a
Becoming of
crucial
life,
part of this. Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
It's that's what I liked about Shenmue back in the day. Back then, it was a new thing that you could do all those side quest things or those side jobs or whatever that were not really related to the game directly in every case. But in Persona, like you said, it is related to basically it's the basis of the
Yeah.
game to get to
It's
the Persona.
intertwined with the main loop of the game.
Yeah. And it's nicely
It's not
done.
just
Meeting with your
yeah.
friends, going to a cafe, going to school, having your school
and
fights and whatever.
and besides that, Persona includes moments that you should not forget about your studies. You must study in Persona. If you want pass exams, you must study.
Mm-hmm. Yay! Back to school! Let's pay for a game where I can go back to school! Yay! Excited!
You can just Google online guide what I was doing since the first time I was playing this game because I didn't know English that well.
Yeah, but I know there are like questions that are related to class and stuff.
Yeah, but mostly to Japanese class.
Yeah. Some stuff might be. I mean, well, a lot of stuff. Also, the way they behave with each other, or the world, yeah, it is definitely Japan, and some stuff might be a bit weird for Westerners who don't know much about Japan.
Yeah, that's for
The
sure.
way they talk or
At
behave
first,
towards each other.
at first you need to accept that it's showing you slice of life of a different culture and
Yeah.
not yours culture.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. That's what I like about a lot of Japanese games when they go into those details. Those also when they show in animes, when they make something, when they produce something, and they go into teeny tiny detail, and it's super realistic when you check it out, check it up afterwards. We watched a movie in our movie night called What's Your Name? I don't know if you know that.
Your name?
Or Your Name. Damn, that was such a good one.
It was animated or not?
Yeah, animated.
Yeah, Your Name.
Yeah, Your Name. And they showed the way how they make ropes and stuff, and it is 1-to-1 the representation how the old way was done. And that got me interested into looking up what's going on with the technique and stuff. Now I know how it's done. Just from looking at it, because it was so super detailed, the drawing and everything, and it was intertwined into a conversation, and they were just doing that casually in the background, weaving ropes and stuff. And it was so cool.
Yeah, just basically they just having a casual conversation while doing whatever daily stuff they want to do at the moment.
Yeah, you just don't know that because, well, it's done in Japan. So yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. Okay, so from Persona 3 to Persona 4 and whatnot. In Persona 4, it's basically the same premise. Supernatural problem, supernatural solution. Basically, killing with the TV. What? You throwing somebody in the TV, and after the foggy night, that person is appeared dead and mutilated.
Isn't that how you do it? I mean, I always bring a TV with me if I expect trouble might happen. You know, just put this old CRT. You know, you just put it there and be like, hey, dude, careful! I brought my TV. Okay, I mean, seriously. Okay, it's a Trinitron, so.
Yeah, well, even if it doesn't work the way it worked in Persona 4, it's still good. It's still big freaking thing to hit somebody with.
I just throw it at the TV. Something might happen.
Yeah, something will definitely happen.
I had a colleague who was also doing promotions for Nintendo in a different store, and I don't know what happened, but she got hit by a TV that was falling down from a rack. She didn't get hurt too bad because it hit her on the side and on her shoulder. She was done for the day, but it was also a smaller TV, but no idea. She was standing there doing something and all of a sudden, whoosh! Some shitty Persona move. It was the other way around. Hey, let's throw a TV at you. Oh, wait, that's not the way how it's done. Okay, sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. So again, it's going through. It's going through the murder case that police trying to solve, but police can't solve this case physically because they can't have access to the other world, backside of the TV. And if we're talking about Persona 3, Persona 4 main motive, it's a bit different. Yes, it's still going through your slice of life slice of life gameplay when you have to balance school, going into the other world, and solving the case. But this time it's going into questions of sexuality and self-identification. Well, not in a way that it's self-identification like right now, but basically, well, in a way that no, it's put in a way like
being more aware of who you are as a person.
No. Well, it's basically going into how society see you, and because of that, how you see yourself. So yeah, society.
Older teenager, young adults, basically.
Yeah, so basically society see you as brutal as freak, punk that probably gay just because he act like fucked up outcast. And basically, yeah, that can make you insecure when somebody call you like that.
Yeah.
And specifically with tomboys, when they all look like boys, but actually girls and society treat them as boys. Yeah, but I'm saying that how it is specifically in Persona 4, because it's not how it is right now. Yeah, it's in a way they answer of Persona 4, yes, be yourself, but it also going under the skin in a way that push away how society see you. Yes, somebody might call you gay, but that doesn't mean shit. Yes, somebody might treat you like a boy, but if you're a girl, that also doesn't mean shit. It's also complicated. It's all go into emotions, into sexuality, into stuff of growing up with responsibilities, having a work and whatnot. Traditionalism, modernism, and in a way it's all also put not as good as in Persona 3 into the story, but still it is a part of the story. It's still one of the main experience of Persona 4, despite its being not as good integrated as in Persona 3. And yes, I'm saying that it's not as good integrated, but it's only from my perspective, not as good integrated.
Persona 4, the regular version that was out on the PlayStation, is not the Persona 4 Golden, right?
Yes, Persona 4 Golden is a remake of Persona 4 for PlayStation Vita. So Persona 4 Gold is port of PlayStation Vita port.
So we don't really have a real Persona 4 port from...
Yes, and unlike Persona 4 Gold, I would prefer to have original Persona 4. Persona 4 Gold is not as bad as I make it sounds like, but it's overwhelmed with content. Persona 4 already have a lot more content than Persona 3. Well, not a lot more content as Persona 3, but it definitely feels like game throwing a lot more at you and at much earlier points of the story than in Persona 3. you quickly can get overwhelmed with some parts of the content of Persona 4.
It's so weird to see Persona 4 Golden came out 2020, cost $20, and Persona 3 Reload came out 2024 and cost $70. How the fuck can you even? I mean, as a customer, if you see something like, if I would see something like that, I would be like,
See Persona 5 Royale, it's already cheaper.
yeah, and I would be like, okay, Persona 4 Golden sounds like a bigger version and a newer version than Persona 3. I mean, the numbers normally add up. So
And we have Persona 5 as well.
yeah, and then I would be like, why would I pay $70 for a prequel to Persona 5? You know, it's like, huh? What?
Yeah. And look at the Persona collection. This one is a trap. It doesn't have Persona 3. It has Persona 3 Portable.
Mm-hmm.
This one is trap. You basically tricked by thinking that if you will buy this collection, you will get a whole package, basically Persona 3 Reloaded, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 Royale. But no, you will get Persona 3 Portable. Inferior experience to Persona 3 Reloaded.
So the portable is more like the PSP version than.
It's not more like a PSP version. It's a shot-in-shot PSP version. It's basically have its name, P3P.
Yeah, so that is that's the real PSP port, and the new one that came out is the port from the port.
No, the new one that came out is basically shot-and-shot remake.
Yeah, or remake, yeah.
Yeah, and it's remake of the original Persona 3. With, I can say that they put a lot of work in it, because it's made perfectly.
How to confuse customers.
Yeah.
And we talked about Persona. We're not talking about it the first time. And I still, you explain stuff to me and I'm still looking at stuff like this and I'm like, who the fuck comes up with shit like that?
Yeah, but let's go quickly back into main lineup. Persona 5 Royale is something that I have problem with, because Persona 5, unlike previous games, contain one fatal flaw. Persona 5 Royale going with the team solving mundane problems with supernatural solution. Unlike previous game when you basically saving the world from being destroyed. Yeah, in Persona 4 you also preventing the end of the world, but this time you killing not Nox, but Izanami.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, so basically this time is Japanese goddess. But unlike Persona 3, Persona 4 have happy ending. Nobody dies and your character basically say so long suckers and returning to the town.
Okay.
So yeah, again, Persona 5 is the game with the lowest stakes. You're not preventing the end of the world. You basically trying to stop several bad people.
And is the Royale the Persona 5 from the console, or
Persona 5. Okay, so original Persona 5 was released on PlayStation 3, but then ported on PlayStation 4. For PlayStation 4 Pro was released Persona 4 Royal, with a lot of quality of life improvements and a bit changed, some bit changed scenes because people demanded censorship. Specifically, people on the West demanded censorship.
Okay.
So Persona 4 Royal, specifically this one, this is a port that was made for Xbox Series S and PC, and that have backwards compatibility with Xbox One and Series S, and it's working in 30 FPS on Series X, Series S and Xbox One, while original Persona 5 Royal working 60 FPS on PlayStation 4 Pro. So basically, this is when you're playing this port on lower end consoles, it's inferior version than original Persona 5 Royal.
Oh boy.
So it's basically port of the extended edition. Yeah.
And downgraded.
For lower end hardware, yes.
Kinda reminds me of the Fallout update that was just released, where depending on the resolution, it will give you certain settings and a certain maximum FPS that you can achieve, and I think you need at least a 1440p resolution to be able to get more than 60 FPS.
What?
Anything below is like 30 FPS locked and 40 FPS locked, and I was like, what? What? We're 2024. What the fuck is going on? And it's
It's
gen.
not like Fallout 4 is a new game.
No, it's not 9 years old, and that next gen update is basically just, I don't know, making it or giving it more functions and stuff for the newer consoles, and some new weapons and some new skins, but we can talk
basically
about
breaking the old mods.
Yeah, a lot of mods, and it's so funny because I mean I just bought it last week or so because it was on sale, $10 for the GOTY, and I didn't have it in Steam, so I was like, yeah, okay. Then I saw, update is coming, and looked into it. I'm like, nah, that's not gonna end well. No big update ends well for mods. And the first thing I did, making sure that stupid game will not update. And the only way to do that is not starting the game, which will not happen when you mod the game, because you started through the mod manager. And so many people are pissed at, my mods are blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you an idiot? I mean, if you play Fallout actively, you know about the update. I didn't even have it on Steam, and I knew about the update before I bought it. So, and first I was like, oh, cool, new update. And then I looked into it and I was like, nah, I rather mod it, and nah, my game will never see that update. I see no reason. I have everything that the update apparently patches or adds to the game, but I can play it with up to 165 FPS maxed out in 1440p. It looks much, much better than the game, and I don't need that update. I don't care. But people are like, oh, my mods. Yeah. Your fault.
So back to Persona 5. I didn't go too much into the story, but I finished the first major dungeon, and all I can say that it's pretty bland compared to even Persona 4.
Yeah, I watched more of Persona 4 than 5.
It's good written. It have a good soundtrack, but compared to previous games, when you this game is basically really offensive to me. Specifically, that they trying to solve problems that must be solved in the real world, like corrupt politicians and whatnot, by doing this with basically teens power fantasy, and doing this with supernatural solution.
Yeah, so
Compared-
it's not separated as it used to be.
Yes, it's basically not like you have one grand epic adventure. Game just making it sound epic. And first thing you're doing with that epic stuff is stopping the molester teacher.
Okay.
Yes, I know that this topic is quite serious and that stuff like that should be stopped, but they doing this with supernatural solution.
Yeah, when you have the premise of the old games in the back, that the world is coming to an end if you don't do anything against it. I mean, yeah, I mean, child molesters and rapists have no right to breathe my air in my society.
By the way, that's him.
So yeah, I mean that's totally cool, but for a game making that the main enemy is kinda.
Well, it's not main enemy, it's the first main enemy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but still. Yeah, it's kind of weird if you well back in the day where you were fighting in the TV and stuff in that in that new supernatural dimension, yeah, stuff makes sense. But yeah, bringing that in the real world is kind of weird. Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah, that's why while finished the first, and you. Oh, yeah. The most insulting thing about that solving everything with supernatural solution is that, yes, you had your big boss fight in the heart world, but there's one slightly tiny big fucking problem that you can't ignore about it. After you steal the heart, person who had this change of heart will go on and publicly degrade himself. Person will willingly tell on himself or herself and be like, yeah, I need to be punished.
Okay.
Basically, most stuff that you can't suspend your disbelief to believe in it.
Yeah, sounds weird.
Yeah, if he would die after you'll steal his heart or turn into the vegetables, I would be like, yeah, you have stakes. You doing basically the right thing, but you're doing it in a horrible way. But no, your actions have no stakes in real world besides your own harm.
Yeah, strange.
Persona 5 Royal have most childish storytelling of every Persona game, and that's including Persona 1 and Persona 2, and I play all of them. Played.
What was the last that came out? With those...
Chronologically or how?
Nah, just the last that was with those chibi-like characters. Was it Persona 3?
Chibi.
You know,
define what...
the more cute-like looking characters. Oh no, was it Tactica?
No.
Yeah, Tactica. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, this one. I prefer to think that this doesn't exist.
yeah, that one. Exactly. Yeah, that one.
When you said the chibi-like characters, I was like, why are we talking about Persona Q why are we talking about Persona 4 Q Labyrinth?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the whole series or anything, but even I have a certain expectation of the looks or whatever, and the theme and topic, and Persona.
Yeah, that definitely cheap cash grab for me.
Yeah, so Persona being not the happiest game, it's a bit darker story and everything, and then you look at the characters and they're like I don't know, like kids characters, like from a kids TV show or something. They look kind of cute and yeah, well, I get it in other games and stuff. I don't mind, but here I personally expect a bit more real like characters and stuff, because where you play their real life and everything, and I don't know.
They even more cute than during the phase of Persona 4 PlayStation 2 era.
Yeah, it just looks too much like a kids morning TV show. I don't know. And
yeah, I get what you're talking about. And judging by the stuff that I told about Persona, it's definitely far from kids Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it's 16 plus, and I mean, it doesn't look bad, and in the right game, I would like that style. I wouldn't mind, but well, again, Persona, I don't expect big heads and stuff and be all like cutesy, ha ha ha, and then still killing dudes with like your persona and whatnot, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Even if we go a bit deeper into the past of Persona series, we have Persona 2 that basically made out of two games, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. And the thing with those two games, you can play them in any order. You can start with Innocent Sin and then get into Eternal Punishment, or you can get Eternal Punishment and then go into Innocent Sin. And that's basically going good into story that Persona 2 trying to tell. You basically committing Innocent Sin, and then you get Eternal Punishment. Or you start with Eternal Punishment, but to get why you have an Eternal Punishment, you must commit the Innocent Sin, and you committed it only after the fact that you got the Eternal Punishment.
Okay.
So yeah, Persona 2 also have this some sort of biblical reference. Because by the Bible, we all punished eternally before we found Christ.
Yeah, sure. That's.
And we punished for innocent sin of the fruit of knowledge.
Yeah, as we all know, babies come into this world as a sinner. I mean, they already did all the bad stuff. They don't know shit, but they did all of that already. Persona 2 was not released on PC, right?
No, Persona 2 is PlayStation 1 era. It was re-released for PlayStation Portable, and it's a duology that I want to see be remade. But it's quite dark and heavy, and I'm not sure that it will be re-released, because one of the main motifs of Persona 2 is a love line between young adult and teen.
Yeah, nah, that's not gonna happen in the West.
And teen is a male.
Well, that would work more in the West, but still, nah.
Yeah. I specifically made it. I specifically made a mention that teen is a male, just to basically break stereotype when older partner is always male.
Well, I personally think that let's say a teacher and a female teacher has a sexual relationship with one of her male students.
No.
Now, I mean,
Reporter have a sexual relation will have a sexual relationship after the loop of the game was broken. With well, basically main female female lead and male lead.
Yeah, just now what I wanted to say from a perspective of a guy, if I had some teachers who were pretty hot. If I would have gotten the chance back then to do something, I mean, I wouldn't have said no, but I'm also a guy, so it's a bit different. I wouldn't have felt forced or something. So I think if you're a girl, you're more prone to be how to say being used, and not getting anything out of it positively in the long run. As a guy,
let's just say hormones and whatnot, being cautious about yourself and blah blah blah, and we're two guys and we basically can't talk about it.
Yeah, and it's different for a guy when it comes to stuff like that. So still, if a teacher or something does it, it's still using their power basically to get what they want for some. Hey, you get better notes or whatever, If that's the case, that's shit. Yeah, that's molestation. But if it's from the student to I don't know, have a way to blackmail a teacher, like, last weekend, if you don't want me to tell anybody, you give me some better notes and stuff, So
basically, guys bad.
Yeah, it always it depends from what side it starts. Basically, if it starts from the adult, yeah, that's wrong. That's bad. If they go into it when the child does it, it's still wrong and illegal. But it's a different thing because they didn't start it. It still doesn't make it right or legal in front of the law. But it's different if you're the kid or if you're the adult. So.
And to make it less creepy, in Persona 2, it's basically starting with under the pressure of the battlefield and after camaraderie bond was formed.
Okay.
So it's absolutely different power dynamics and sexual dynamics.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And it's not like I'm against that Persona 3 Reloaded was released. Persona 3 is a great game, and for me it's a good thing that it was re-released for future generations to experience it. But that's a dick move to release expansion pass. It's basically on disc DLC. Microsoft included expansion pass in the Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have it open in the background. If you don't want to pay overpriced prices, well, that was English from hell. Get Game Pass and play the games there. That's it. That's the hack. You're welcome. And yeah, Persona 3 is the complete edition. I mean, it looks like it. So yeah, just get Game Pass. That's the cheapest you can get that game. So
Yeah, and as much as it hurts me, it's hard for me to say that, but yes, playing Persona 3 Reloaded in Game Pass is the best way to experience the ending.
yeah,
It's not pay for expansion pass, but to play it with Game Pass. It's hard for me to say that because I love Persona 3. I bought this game. I know that I overpaid for this game, and I overpaid a lot for this game. It don't have original price for me because Sega stopped doing original prices. But I bought this game. And after I learned that I have to also pay extra for the answer, I was pissed.
yeah, that's just a dick move. And nothing gives it away. I mean, yeah, for obvious reasons, I guess.
Yeah, and specifically it's made for people who don't know. I know, because I played Persona 3 Fest. I know, people who played Persona 3 know. People who know about Atlus and their fair share of great RPGs in the past.
Mm.
It's one of the greatest JRPG ever made. And Atlus, or either Atlus or Sega or both, played us dirty. First they released Persona 3 Portable, then they released the answer the month after Persona 3 was released.
Yeah, that's just...
And before, you know that premium edition? Premium edition didn't exist. It was either regular edition or digital deluxe edition. And in digital deluxe edition, you don't have the answer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not even in the premium edition.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
just get...
not even in the premium edition?
No, I mean, not in Game Pass. Let me see in Steam. Doesn't show me here. I cannot see what's actually. Digital premium. You get the digital art book, the soundtrack, and the DLC pack. And the DLC pack contains only the skins and shit. Persona 3 Reload DLC pack, Phantom Thieves, costumes, yeah. You don't, that's fucked up.
What Total Biscuit said in the past? Fuck Sega. If you can play any games from Sega, play them in Game Pass. Don't give them money.
Wait a second. So you pay without sale. You pay $100. You pay $30 extra for just the soundtracks and the skins, and on top of that you have to pay the $35
for the real ending.
Yeah. So if you just get the base game, you pay €70, and then you have to add 35 on top. So you pay €105 minimum to finish the game, basically. Wow, that's fucked up. Holy shit! And not even Game Pass can you play it until the end. Wow.
I think it's I think the episode egg is involved in Game Pass. I think I read it in the Game Pass somewhere.
I don't see that. But I also just see add-on. No, the expansion is extra. And it's also not on sale. Everything is on sale, every DLC, but the expansion is extra.
Ah, shit.
Uh-huh. Wow, that's such a dick move. Oh, but that's free now. What? Okay, now I don't understand it. So, if you see it in the store, in the overview, it says $35. If you click on it, it says free.
Told you that I read it somewhere. It was written somewhere in the news on the app.
That's interesting and super weird, because why not show it in a store that is on sale or free at the moment?
I don't know.
And why is it free anyway?
I don't know. I think that Microsoft is basically understand that it's dick move from Sega, and they realized that people are pissed. People was already pissed with release of Persona 3 Portable. Community actively ignored and boycotted Persona 3 Portable on PC and Xbox. We basically forced Sega and Atlus into releasing into announcing Persona 3 Reloaded.
Yeah, but you can play them. Well, 5 Tactics, 3, and those are the free ones. Those are in Game Pass.
Persona 4 out of the Game Pass.
3 Reloaded and 5 Tactics are included.
Soul Hacker also out of the Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's strange.
On sale for 21 at the moment.
By the way, Soul Hackers is the first non-Persona related title that they released in years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, outside Shin Megami Tensei 6.
Yep, not in Game Pass.
I bought this game.
That's
it's recent.
Yeah, in Game Pass 2022.
And that's painful. Right now, all Atlus do is releasing mainline entries of Shin Megami Tensei for Nintendo consoles for some reasons. And endlessly re-releasing Personas or making those side games that people have low interest in, like Persona fighting games, Persona dance game, and 2 spin-offs for Persona 5. And only Soul Hackers 2 is the only new game in IP that wasn't released since PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I know the name. I didn't play it, but it does ring a bell. I know it. I didn't know that it was directly related, but it kind of makes sense.
It's not directly related, it's indirectly related. Basically, all of the games that Atlus releases under one big umbrella, Mega 10, Megami Tensei. Megami Tensei was a really old JRPG that was released on Famicom exclusively and contained 2 games. It was based on first book in Digital Devil saga, Goddess Resurrection, and it's even named after that. After they lost license, they made on Super Nintendo first the original RPG, Shin Megami Tensei, basically resurrection of True Goddess Resurrection. And since that, they made basically only games related to Mega 10. Main line is Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, Digital Devil Saga, Soul Hacker, Devil Summoner, Devil Children, Devil Survivor, and whatnot. It's all under the big umbrella of Mega 10. if it's under Mega 10, you know what type of monster it is are going to be in this game, and you have slight understanding that what's going to happen in the story.
I was just checking if I can find the game eventually, the original on retro page that I just found lately. It's pretty cool. You can play old school classics on there, but that wasn't on it. They don't have that many pages. Not that many games.
Yeah, I think with Atlus games, they were only console games. Atlus also managed to make one of the Virtual Boy games.
Yeah, here that website has Neo Geo, NES, SNES, and when you said Famicom, I was like, okay, well, maybe on that page they have it. That would have been funny.
Yeah, SNES didn't have a official Western release. It have only fan-made patches. Same with Persona 1. It was never officially... No, it was officially released on PlayStation 1. I don't know what I'm talking about. Persona 2 was never officially released on PlayStation 1 on the West.
No, the other page wasn't have it. Well, it was worth a try. Would have been funny.
Well, I know when you can find those ISOs and not, but
yeah, I know that too, but that's an official page that is not illegal. So, and you can play those games online in the browser.
If it's official page, that I doubt that it's going to be there. Sega and Atlus milking whatever Atlus have.
I think the games they have on there are mostly those without continued license.
And okay, Persona and Shin Megami Tensei basically always renewed. Specifically Persona, that for sure.
Yeah, there's my chat. Okay. Yeah.
So
I just found a Japanese version of a game that I played over 30 years ago. So I can finally play the original, and it's already handed my ass to me. So yeah.
So for me it's painful how Atlus, one of the major creators of JRPGs during the PlayStation 2 era, and most of those games were good, now treat it like this. Now treat us like this.
You know, one of the biggest problems when it comes to that is the bigger you get, the more you lose touch to the basis or where you.
The thing is, Atlus was never big. Atlus is a niche company. They was on the verge of bankruptcy. Without Sega's funding, they would be closed by now.
Yeah, maybe, but haven't they been bought by Sega?
Yes.
Yeah, so they basically became a AAA company, and with AAA bullshit and CEOs in the background. So no matter what you used to be in the past, it's basically like let's say id Software, for example, where they still had their own rights and stuff, but once you sell your company to a corporation, it's not your company anymore. No matter how you started, it doesn't matter if you started in a garage, in a basement of your parents or whatever. That is gone out of the window. Whatever you used to be, once you're going corporate, barely any company stays the way they were. The moment an indie company becomes a AAA company, they do change their ways. It's not cool, and oftentimes it kind of breaks their neck as well because, well, fans who know a company for years, they want to keep that company as they know it. So that's also why Blizzard isn't Blizzard anymore. They used to be a good company, and then they sold their soul to Acclaim and to Activision. But the cool thing is that Microsoft said in the future, the Blizzard team, they have creative freedom. If it goes the way it sounds, they basically want to bring back old school Blizzard. So the good times.
Well, let's hope that it will happen, because
I hope so too.
Right now Blizzard is just a laughingstock.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And Diablo 4 is on Game Pass. Yay. I cannot play it.
I'm also can't play it because I'm from Russia and we're officially banned. And I don't want to deal with VPN.
Yeah. Oh, something about being banned. I just saw a tweet about, or not a tweet, in a mail, in a newsletter, I saw that Twitch, for some reason, and I really don't understand it, and it kind of pisses me off, they just ended the Twitch support for Polish, Korean, Russian, and one other language. And I was like, huh? Why? I mean,
at least 3 of those languages questionable.
I mean, Korea, can you even watch Twitch in Korea? I think they ended Twitch in Korea. That's also why a lot of content creators basically lost their income. So I understand that. North Korea and everything. Kim, yeah, okay, why support that?
When they talking about Korea, they mean South Korea. Twitch wasn't in North Korea at all.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There's nothing in North Korea, basically. Okay,
well,
yeah,
there is, but we don't know about it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that sucks even more then. Russia, I kind of understand with the war, but why do it now and not 2 years ago? And Polish, I absolutely don't understand why.
Well, Polish is basically minor Slavic language. Same as Belarusian, Ukrainian, Bosnian,
yeah, but the
Montenegrin, Macedonian, and whatever.
I mean, I understand that they don't have support for some countries that are really small and they have like, I don't know, 10 people watching Twitch or whatever. I get it, but if you have those languages in already, taking them out makes no sense to me, because why? I mean, Russia isn't small, Poland isn't small.
I can see interface in Russian. I think they just will not update it at all.
I guess it has more to do with you will not be able to open a ticket anymore if that's related to a problem in your country.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like it.
And
but
no
again, I can write ticket in English. It's not a problem specifically for me.
Yeah, true. But still, there are people who, well, they are not capable of using
people
English.
who not as me, I know that.
So it kind of sucks, and some decisions on Twitch are questionable. I'm not sure. Maybe they go back when the shitstorm is big enough, but some decisions are just stupid. I mean, taking away something that people already had for years is never a good idea. It's always a shit move.
It might be related to how Amazon movie division is lacking.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon can basically fuck itself with Prime. I'm done with Prime. I'm not gonna continue with that. They take away more stuff that we pay the same, but we have less now. Literally every other streaming service tells you, hey, if if you want to keep what you have and you pay what you pay now, nothing changes for you. If you want to pay less, you have to watch advertising. Okay. And Amazon tells you, oh, you pay the same, you get less. Oh, you want to have what you had before without advertising, then you have to pay more on top. And that's not how you do it. You start with a base system, then you go premium. You don't go premium and cut off stuff and then you'll be like, oh no, you need premium because
you need digital deluxe.
yeah. You need
you need
premium
golden edition. There.
premium deluxe. What was the Borderlands shit edition called?
Platinum.
Well, you expected it to be the big version. That's the one that I bought, and yeah, I bought the. Wait, which one did I buy? I think I bought the Super Deluxe because, well, it's not a deluxe, it's a Super Deluxe. I mean, should be done. Yeah, and then
you have super in your name.
Yeah, and then half a year later, they were like, oh, by the way, we are greedy assholes, and here's a season pass we never talked about in the future, in the past, and we call it, that's the Ultimate Edition then. What? Still hate that game.
Well, at least it's $60.
Yeah.
I was ripped more with Persona 3. And Sega still expect me pay for 35 more.
Yeah, but the thing is, I bought the €80 bundle already, and I get shit for the season pass too. I can pay full price €30 for cut content. Obviously, 100% cut content. I only know one other DLC that is more obvious cut content than this shit, and that was Assassin's Creed 2, mission, I think 13 and 14, which were, well, not directly related to the story, so if you didn't have it, you didn't miss it. On PC, we got it completely, and on the console, you had to pay for the Da Vinci DLC to get those missions that were literally cut out you see it. It's like, it goes to 12, then, whoa, pause and continues with 14 or so, and you're like, huh? What? Never seen that in my life, and it's a really good game, and that was really a shit move. And that's basically the same shit.
Talking about shit moves and basically cut content, it's like Mass Effect 3 Rotarian DLC. Basically, one of the only character surviving member of his race that was wiped out by the Reapers in the previous cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Community was pissed.
Yeah, Mass Effect. We could do a whole show on that, I think.
No, I prefer never to open this wound again. I was burnt with Mass Effect. Mass Effect died for me.
I don't care for that game. I mean, yeah, back then, the first one, I played it, it wasn't bad, but then it just became not an RPG anymore, it was more action, and then they had the remaster, and fuck that shit. I have the remaster, but I will never install it. I see absolutely no point or reason for me to play that game again.
I saw the remaster, I was like, I wonder how fast it will appear in Game Pass. And when I saw it in Game Pass, I was like, like I surprised that nobody paid for it.
Oh, a lot of people paid for it, I think. I'm not sure, do I have it in here? Or maybe I don't, I didn't have the... Huh? Oh, really? Where do I have Mass Effect? I do have the original. Fucking stupid launchers. Oh, shit.
Yeah. I know that I have Mass Effect 1 and 2 on Steam, and third one is on Electronic Arts Shop.
That might be. Yeah, EA. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's EA. Okay, yeah, I have it in EA Play then. that's where I have it. Yeah. I mean, the Legendary Edition is, when it comes to the graphical upgrades and stuff, top notch. I mean, they got everything out of the Unreal Engine that is possible. There's nothing more possible to get out of this version of the Unreal Engine. I think it was...
I don't know. I see most of it as questionable. Yes, for first one, it's definitely noticeable. For second one, already questionable. For the third one, it's not as much as noticeable.
Yeah, because that came out as latest and not that long ago, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, for the first one, yeah, the upgrades are definitely obvious. I mean, it's running in the video in the background. So yeah, but I see no point to getting it again. There's no point to getting it again. I mean, only if you played the first and not the second and the third of the original release, because what they did with the third one, they kinda made it more...
They did people dirty.
Yeah, but they made it more consistent over all the games. I mean, the original 3 are very different to each other. They play
Oh, in that way, yeah. But you know that it was quite a time gap.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But, well, now, if you want to play the whole series, you can start with the first one, and when you play the third one, it doesn't feel like a completely different game. So...
I still would prefer that first one would be as it is and not as it was. As it was made. This is the same way with The Witcher 1. I know that that complete overhaul of Witcher 1, well, complete remake of Witcher 1 is in making. And it's made by ex-CD Projekt Red staff. Including ex-head of the studio.
Wait, what?
Yes, remake of Witcher 1 is in making. But I don't feel like it's needed.
There is a remastered version. Why?
No, it's enhanced edition.
Yeah, that's basically... Yeah, it enhanced the original with graphics, bug fixes. Why remake? Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Remake it into Witcher 3, but that will not make it The Witcher 1.
I just wish CD Projekt to be gone one day. Seriously. That's a company I really don't want to see in the future anymore. No, seriously. They pissed me off for life with fucking Cyberprank. Seriously. And all the shit that they do. I just talked to a friend about ray tracing, and we were both like, it's the base, the minimum base function of ray tracing is reflecting yourself in a fucking mirror. So many ray tracing games don't have that. Why? It's like building the best car on the planet, and then you're like, let's not put all the motor parts in it. Let's just put a bit out again. They can still drive it, but well, that's not, it's just so bullshit.
Well, there's the reason for that. That's because there is no player model in the world. You can... sometimes you can see how the model's spawning when you're looking in the mirror.
Yeah, the thing is, that was also the problem with the third-person mod. Because, there is no third-person model directly, so... Which is also kind of weird, because you can see your character in cutscenes. So...
But those cutscenes from the perspective of the player, so...
But
mostly.
But you do see your V character in cutscenes the way it looks.
In some.
So, and in the character editor, there is a third-person model of yourself. So, there is a model of your character, but not in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. but it's just
and
stupid.
you can see this model every time when you open the menu.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just not put into the game like other games would do it. Like Fallout, for example, you just also super stupid, but kind of makes sense because it does have a bit of MMO feeling to it, even though it's a single player game. Mouse wheel is not switching your weapons. It zooms away from your character, and the more you scroll, the further away you get. So you have on the fly third person and no reflections because but that's so weird. Control, for example, that's a third person game where you don't have a first person view, so you have reflections everywhere. But a lot of people call Cyberprank the RTX showcase game. It isn't.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to ray tracing besides yourself, it's great. It does look really good. But if I want to showcase ray tracing, the first game would be Control. That would be my first choice. Mostly because, well, first thing, you reflect yourself everywhere where it makes sense. So if you have a super polished wooden wall panel, yeah, you reflect yourself. You walk past a reception cubicle that has the windows with wires in it, and that's not a straight glass. So yeah, you reflect yourself in there, but it also changes. It's not a perfect reflection. That all happens in the first 5 minutes. And I was in the game and I was like, okay, this game is already 100% better than Cyberprank in every way when it comes to ray tracing. In every way. So, and Fallout update? No ray tracing, no new technology, no new effects, no new nothing. Ultra wide, and that's not even needed because there's a mod like 5 kilobytes that gives you ultra wide perfectly fine. Alright.
Well, it's Bethesda. They breaking more with updates than fixing.
I saw one comment and I loved it, and I used it already a few times. The thing in Fallout is always war. War never changes. And one guy posted, Bethesda never changes. I laughed my ass off. That was so hilarious. And I will use that in the future. Every time. Bethesda never changes.
It just works.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a guy. I think that was the Steam update fix. There's already a mod that prevents that, and if you installed it, what you can do. And he had it just works. And then Todd striked out God Howard, you know. It just works. Oh. Yeah, so yeah, hilarious. That guy Todd never changes. Okay.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of remakes and remasters of RPGs that sometimes they feel like they don't need it.
Yeah. Same
Persona 3, in my opinion, is PlayStation 2 classics that must be preserved because PlayStation 2 library not preserved.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it in those cases. And if a game wasn't out on a PC, for example, or if a game was out on PC like 10 or 20 years ago, then I also understand it. Okay, Witcher 1 is 15 years?
Well, it's quite old, but it's not like original Witcher is unplayable. Yes, it's aged horribly, but it what got people into the game.
16 years. I wouldn't... For a game that's 16 years old, it aged really well. I mean, there are games that...
Not gameplay, not
You mean gameplay-wise?
Specifically, not fighting-wise.
Yeah, well, I mean...
But
yeah, it wasn't
it's
an action
basically proof of mostly proof of concept.
Yeah, but what it wasn't back then, it was not an action game. That's
Yes.
definitely... It played like Gothic. A bit smoother maybe, but just when you look at the graphics...
It's played like Neverwinter. You basically starting with overhead view.
Yeah, kinda-ish.
Well, in a original, not in enhanced one, you started with overhead view and you basically move to yourself with a cursor. And over-the-shoulder camera was like an alternative option.
Yeah, but it was never Diablo isometric game.
Yes, it was never like that. That's why I'm saying it was like Neverwinter.
Yeah, maybe, but still, the graphics for a 16-year-old game aged really well. I mean,
Oh
there
yeah,
are games
it's
that
still looking
are less old and they aged really shit. So, and that's where I sometimes don't understand why games get remakes or remasters. In this case, okay, I mean, 16 years? Yeah, I mean, that's the age of the game on Steam at the moment, you know? So yeah, they never touched it and they will never touch it because, yeah, let's be honest, we have Unreal Engine today. Unreal 5 engine looks so much better and everything. Nobody who never played that game back in the day or saw it played by their parents or so would get the old game. So a game that's older than 15 years is totally fine if it gets a remake or remaster. But some games are not even 10 years old and get remasters. That's what I don't...
Last of Us is a good example of it. And besides that, 2 Last of Us.
Nah, that's
so Last of Us was released on PlayStation 3, then it was released as latest kit for PlayStation 3.
No, it was never released on PC. That doesn't count. A port from a console to a PC is a new release. It's not... It's a new release. It's made for the PC, better graphics,
it's
whatever.
Not. It's basically a port of PlayStation 5 version.
Still, if you release it on PC, it is the newest version.
Okay, it is the newest version, but it not cost $70.
That's a whole different... that doesn't matter. But you do... You know, a bad example is Skyrim. You get the same game in 3 versions just to pay more for it. It's still the same game. Nothing changed from the first Skyrim to the new Skyrim. It still looks the same. Yeah, maybe some small upgrades and stuff, but it
just 3?
There was no justification to release Skyrim again. That's what I mean. If you would release
same as Fallout.
Yes. Fallout wasn't re-released. Fallout has 1 version. That's what surprises me the most. Why Todd didn't release the update, the next gen update, as it's 25 years of Fallout this year. So where's the 25 year or the 25 year anniversary Fallout edition? That surprised me a lot. But maybe Microsoft had something to do with that. Because Skyrim came out...
that Fallout ain't that popular, kinda playing a role in it.
Nah. Fallout might not be as popular as Elder Scrolls, although I wouldn't say. Nah, Fallout is super popular.
We're talking about Fallout 4, game that pissed out old fans and they basically refused to recognize it as Fallout.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you compare 3 and 4 with 1 and 2, it's just bullshit. You cannot compare those games with each other. You have to see them.
They compare 1 and 2 to New Vegas and they see direct correlation.
Yeah, but still, it's like... I don't know, it's its own game. Back then it was a top-down isometric real RPG.
Again,
And
we have New Vegas, so we basically can compare Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 to New Vegas and say that those are not Fallouts.
yeah, but that's you know, that's, I don't know, fanboy nitpicking. Fallout 4 is a good game. It's not a bad game. It's canon. It is less RPG than 3. It's more action. Yes, and that's what a lot of people were pissed about. The WOTS system also kind of pissed me off in Fallout 4 because that was better in 3. But, I mean, yeah. But they still didn't release it as an anniversary or a super special hyper edition or whatever. No, they released a free update. That surprised me a lot. So,
Yeah, that's definitely something strange
but
and not expected from Bethesda.
But if a game comes from the console to PC, it doesn't count because it never existed before it was ported. So that doesn't count. We're just talking, we're PC here, PC Master Race. I don't fucking care for consoles. But, Mass Effect is an example that wasn't out 15 years ago. So re-releasing it was mostly for greed, in my opinion. Yes,
Re-releasing Mass Effect 1 because of all of those technical problems with graphics, I can kinda see, but I can't justify re-releasing Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, that's the thing, because they aged pretty well. The first, yeah, when you compare it, yeah, that just looks outdated, yeah. But like you said, the second and the third, they already looked more modern, and they were more modern, so...
Yeah.
But I guess, well, you did get the whole package, so you didn't have to buy all 3 games, so that's a good thing. And...
Well, the thing is, nobody asked for it specifically after Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, true, but that's outside of the trilogy anyway.
True, but that's what left a lot of bad taste in a lot of people, in a lot of mouths.
I think the worst taste was the end of the third one.
Oh, don't even make me start with it, because I refuse to choose. For me, first ending was when I shot the... when I accidentally unlocked the secret ending.
Ah. Thanks for a spoiler. Yeah, and
I didn't tell you, but the most insulting thing out of those secret ending started like, yeah, you fucked up, but in the end it was like, yeah, Shepard was the coolest guy ever. He prevented the Armageddon. I was like, the fuck, you told me just now that I've screwed up like majorly, and beside that, you're showing me that I'm not only not screwed up, but I also won. And majorly as well.
Well, I think that was also another reason why they re-released 1 to 3, to also have a better and more consistent end. I mean, they did re-release, or they did release a DLC or patch or what for the end and changed it. But yeah,
it's still the same shit.
Well, I don't know. It's Mass Effect is a bit weird since they remade all 3 games and they gave it to you in one package. So yeah, maybe that is a remaster that you can justify.
Well, Mass Effect 3 is still a game that a lot of people will forget for a good reason.
I do have a really good example of absolutely not needed remaster.
Underground? Oh no, they didn't really release Underground.
Need for Speed Payback was re-released. And is that a new one or the old one now?
2017
anyway,
says.
Yeah, but that is the new version, I think. Anyway, what they did, they just graphically updated it, and there are no new cars in. There's nothing new in it at all. If you played the original, you literally play exactly the same game. No new cars, nothing new. It's all the same shit. Once you bought the game back in the day, there's no point in getting the remaster. It's absolutely pointless. This is the most pointless remaster I've ever seen in my life. There was barely any. There was no reason for this. Nothing. Nada. It's basically the same engine, just updated. It just looks a bit better. That's all. There's nothing else changed. Nada.
Well, I can again use Last of Us Part 1 as an example, as well as Part 2. Yes, it's a console example, but still. They released part of Last of Us on PlayStation 3, re-released this as greatest hit, and then sold it to you for PlayStation 4. Same came with Last of Us Part 2. They released it on PlayStation... Wait, was Part 2 released on PlayStation 4?
I have no idea.
Let me just Google it really quick before I say that.
I mean, on console, again, you have to differentiate between PC, which is the same platform for decades. I mean, changing technically, but it is the same technological basis. But,
oh yeah, it was released for PlayStation 4.
So having a game re-released on the same system is shit. But they didn't release Last of Us on the PlayStation 4, then re-released it as an HD remaster on the PlayStation 4, and then re-released it as the super mega hype edition on the PlayStation 4. They ported it from one system to another system to another system. The reason for that, and you have to keep in mind that some people just don't have that old console, and Sony doesn't fucking care if you paid thousands of dollars or euros in the past for those games. Compatibility for old games is literally non-existent in Sony. Sony just doesn't give a fuck about that.
Thumbs up for Xbox.
Well, it did change slightly, but still. They basically tell you, oh, you paid for the game for the old console? Well, then just buy it for the new one. And Xbox is like, oh, you have games for the Xbox? For the original? Okay, we have a classic version that runs on your system. Oh, you have an Xbox 360 game and a One game? Oh, guess what? Play it on your Xbox S and Xbox X. And
Xbox One as well.
And Xbox, yeah, all those games from the past, not all, but the majority of games can be played on the Xbox X if you have a disc, and you have the Xbox X, you have a drive, and if you have the Xbox S like me, every game that I have in my account, in my Xbox account, is playable. Doesn't matter if it's the old school Xbox or the One or whatever. I buy it once, I play it on all systems. There is no need for a remaster in that case. So that's the reason why Sony pushes out so many remasters and shit. Because they have to, otherwise they cannot keep that game alive. Xbox can, but they don't have to. So that's why you maybe see less old games remade for the new Xbox, because they can just play the old game. And if you play the old game on the new consoles, you oftentimes get higher graphics, higher frames, and a more modern game, even though it is exactly the same old game. Nothing changed. So, I understand.
Yeah, it's basically a difference, like playing on original hardware and playing on emulator.
Yeah, but consoles, again, a whole different thing with ports and remasters and classics and whatnot. So, I mean, I, for example,
Okay, let's use Nintendo's console and how they selling Nintendo classic games first for Wii, then for Wii U, and now for Switch.
Yeah, Nintendo is a little bit questionable when it comes to that. With older games that would run on the system, because Nintendo is always just there was one situation where they switched from cartridges away. That wasn't really easy to be download compatible, but you could play Game Boy in a Super Nintendo. You could play Super Nintendo in an N64. You could play an N64 in the GameCube, I think. You can
GameCube
use
already disc.
yeah, this but you had the virtual thing that you could do. From the the N64 to the GameCube, that was the one issue that was a little bit there, but you had some N64 ports to the GameCube. But from the GameCube, I can use the controllers and all the games on the Wii. From the Wii, I can use it all on the Wii U. And, well, then it goes to the Switch. But Nintendo was always downward compatible. You supported them in the past, and then they were like, okay, hey, cool. Continue to use it. You can buy the new stuff, but your old stuff is still working. And that's really awesome.
Yeah.
They did remasters and ports and stuff as well, but not like from one console to the other, because you could just play that version, just take it. Sure, to another console. Okay, yeah, then it makes sense to port it. But yeah, well, consoles, a whole different thing. And for me, Nintendo is the only console that is left. There is no other console left. What other console is there? There's no other console. Xbox and PlayStation are literally PCs. The Xbox runs on Windows. I mean, they release the games on day one on the console.
And the thing is, specifically with PlayStation, with overpriced games.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation is a little bit in between, but the Xbox is not a console anymore.
That's why Xbox kinda good as a how should I say it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's an idea, let's say it like that. That you can play it either with the PC or on console.
Even on your phone. If I want, I play the newest top-notch game on my freaking phone if I want to. Anywhere. I can sit in the forest. As long as I have a Bluetooth controller with me, I can play anywhere. And you need Ultimate. Okay, you need Game Pass Ultimate to be able to do that, but yeah, the biggest and most complete package, no matter how you look at it, is the Game Pass. There is absolutely no other subscription service out that is remotely that good.
Yeah, but, and we basically can't downplay it.
Yeah, the thing is, it also kinda changes and might slightly destroy the gaming market of the future. Because where people don't buy games, why do I want to pay 70 euros for a game that I can finish in a few days and just pay like 10 or 14 bucks for Game Pass or less?
Yeah, it's mostly just no developers, publishers being extra panicky and trying to force everyone on stores like Epic when they get a bigger share.
Yeah, and the thing is, retail is also dying.
Well, it kinda not surprising, but I still would prefer for Xbox continue to releasing physical discs.
Yeah, well, they stopped doing that a long time ago. That's the problem. You would expect to go in the store, you get a box, you buy a box and open it, have a disc, put it in, and you can play. I'm not sure how many games that actually do that. First, barely any game doesn't need a day one patch, which is shit. And barely any game even puts a disk in, just a code card. So you type in the code, which is really shit because there are actually people without internet access. They live outside of a town or whatever. You're fucked. If you want to play new modern games and you have no internet, you're fucked. You're literally fucked. Either the game wants to be online, or you need a patch or whatever.
PC physical media died long ago, and Steam played a big role in it.
I think, PC. You still have those special editions and stuff, and they will still be around.
Even in those special editions, you have basically useless disk and activation code for Steam, Epic, or whatever.
Yeah. You basically, you don't get anything. You get a box that you can put in I don't know.
Put on your shelf and that's it.
The boxes that I have, they have actually printed discs in them with content on it, so I could just install from the disk and play them.
Yeah, but this content on this disk is basically useless because without internet activation, you can't access this content.
That's the thing. It depends. If I see just a PC ROM, I can just install that. There is no launcher, no anything. But then some games start to have the Windows icon on top, and it says Game for Windows Live.
Yeah, I still have Fable 3.
Game
is dead.
They are a bit more tricky, but you do have a local mode. So again, I can play basically all the games that I have here. That's where I have my Wolfenstein. I knew I had it and I didn't see that I had it here. Because somebody was posting a guide on Steam how to download a cracked version and add it to Steam because, that game isn't out anymore to buy. And
Wolfenstein 2008.
Oh, hey, come on! Green screen, what the fuck? Yeah, seriously, that's... the green screen, there's literally not one... There's in the logo of Microsoft, there's the top right is the only green thing on the whole freaking package. There is... See, this is green. That shows. The AI is so insanely good, it recognizes this is not me, this is not related to me, so it takes it away. Okay, now it works. So, yeah. And it's gone! That's hardcore. So yeah, that version, I could sell that. Could make a bunch of money, I guess. There's still a game on it! Yeah. But it's also already with Activision, so that was also already when they sold their soul. So. But yeah, I should maybe install it again.
I tried to run Fable 3 with local mods, with emulation and whatnot, and it's basically didn't run for me.
Yeah, I have Fable.
Without pirated copy of Fable 3, I wouldn't be able to run Fable 3.
Yeah, I have it in Steam. Another thing that kind of pisses me off, with a few games that came out pre-Steam, when they have been published by EA or so, most of the games that I have, and a lot of EA games in Steam, they also give you the key. That's the reason why I have them in my EA launcher. Not because I added them in my EA launcher, but because I already had them in Steam, for example, or as a retail disc. And the one thing that really pisses me off, I have a limited edition of Bulletstorm, the original Bulletstorm. Uncut from Australia or whatever. It was sent to the store and I got it for like $5 a week after release or so, because they ordered it wrongly. Or it's even a different limited edition outside and stuff. Anyway, I put the code into EA and it asks you what version you want to install. Well, obviously I wouldn't choose anything close to Europe, so no English UK, no German, no bullshit like that. I chose English US, which normally means the United States version, uncut. I go into the game, I play the game, and it's freaking cut. And I have the uncut version. I played the uncut version. It's no problem when I install it on Windows regularly. No problem, uncut. But if I install it in EA, no chance. And I have it in Steam now as well. The uncut version, for some reason, if I shoot a head, the head is not exploding, and that pisses me off. Sounds weird, but this is one of the few games where you need the gore, otherwise the point system in the game makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's like playing football without goals, but still having to count the goals. I mean, yeah, they shoot in that direction. Oh yeah, okay, they would have hit the goal if there would have been one. Just give them the point. So, So yeah, sometimes they make sense.
But okay, I got what you're trying to say.
Right? So yeah, if games are re-released or remastered and stuff on PC, that's one thing. But if it comes from consoles,
I'm kinda also iffy about remake of Gothica.
Of Gothic?
Yeah.
Why? Besides the fact that the developer might maybe be not too experienced for that game.
Mostly because it's working fine even on modern hardware. Without additional headache and whatnot. Yes, it's looking pretty bad, but hey, it's still Gothic.
Yeah, nah. That game is 23 years old. That's no matter how you look at it, that game is unplayable today. Even for me, I played this game back in the day. I would not touch this game again.
I didn't play Gothic 1 and 2, but I played Gothic 2 recently, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of good. Still.
It's still a good game, but for so many reasons, absolutely not working anymore today.
Balance-wise, I get it.
This is 100% a perfect remaster game. Absolutely. This is a game that's 20 years old. That is definitely 100% worth making a remake if it was a good game. And this is one of the best games, one of the best RPGs, let's be honest. Besides the fact that it's one of the best German games. But that was one of the first German RPG that actually was an international success. This game, I cannot wait for the remake of this game.
Well, let's be honest. If this new game wouldn't be as bad and as hard as the original one, would be the same Gothic.
Well, it will definitely be different from fighting and movement and all. It will definitely be smoother and not feel like the original. There's no question about that. I mean, the main problem the original...
Will it be Gothic after that?
Well, the main problem the original had was the shit controls. I mean, the fighting system was just absolute trash. It was garbage. There's no way to make that look no, there's no way to make the combat system in Gothic any good. It was absolutely trash. Compared to other games that were out...
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, compared to other games, it was absolute garbage. It worked for what it was, but it was not an action game. It was an RPG with action in it and fights. And that's what you could feel. That's also why it feels more smooth in the third one, which I liked. I didn't have that many issues with it. But the remake, this one, will definitely be more modern from every aspect. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, the original Gothic was... the engine had huge limitations and everything, so Yeah, I think if they do it right, and that's gonna be really hard, then they could make a really good game with that. That feels like the Gothic we would have liked back then, but couldn't have because of technical issues.
I actually don't believe that it's possible. It wouldn't be Gothic if they modernize it way too much. Well, specifically because of that, I don't like the remake of the original Dead Space. Yes, original Dead Space had its limitations, but it was what it is. Original Dead Space is what get me into the series. But when I played Dead Space Remake, I was like, you got rid of the scale, you got rid of silent protagonist, you basically quote unquote modernized it and in a bad way. Yes, it's looking good. It's playing on the level of Dead Space 3, but it's not Dead Space 1. It's not the same game that I would like uh, if I played it right now and not back then.
I do understand. I do understand you and where you come from with that, but they didn't make that game for you.
Yes, I know, but they made this game for old fans, specifically to show them that, hey, give us your money, we're going to continue the series.
Well, if you get a game that comes out 10 years after the original, you cannot expect that they will do exactly the same, because that
I
wouldn't
know,
work
but
anymore.
come on, why cut off the scaling? So, in original Dead Space, when you're traveling across the Ishimura, the ship feels big, the ship looks big. Yes, environment is claustrophobic, but mass holes are big and whatnot. When you're traveling across the ship using the tram system, you have the sense of scaling, that the ship is much bigger. But in Dead Space Remake, they scaled down the ship. It's basically not only feels like a much smaller ship, but it looks like much smaller ship because you can go on the tram deck and see the other level with your own eyes.
Yeah, but maybe that's because you couldn't back in the day because of the limitations that you had. I mean, as far as I know, they remade there are a few areas that they changed,
Yeah.
but just one area that I played myself in the original, where you use the first time your the low gravity or whatever in that huge area. That looks much bigger in the remake than it looked in the original.
No,
Well,
it's. I would say that it looks specifically with the same scaling, but the difference is you have a freedom of movement from Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3, and not just jumping from
yeah,
tile to tile of Dead Space 1.
yeah,
Yes,
you have
zero
six,
gravity area is much better.
yeah, but from what I saw, to me it looks much bigger. I don't see that it was scaled down in any way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just feel like this way for me because I played the original and I played like 6 to 7 months before I played the remake, so I had recent memories of the original Dead Space and Dead Space 2 for that measure.
Mm. The
So
thing is, you start to get in an age where you will see more and more shit that you've seen in the past. and it doesn't make it any easier or better. For me personally,
Yeah, I know.
for example, when I grew up, I watched the original Dune movie from David Lynch. But I also know that there was much, much bigger Dune planned. We can do a whole show just on that. Then they,
Dune huge.
Yeah, they re-released Dune in so many different versions, and every version I personally didn't like. They were for TV and they were just shit. For me, it was always the original David Lynch one. A lot of people have problems with that, but it's the style and everything is just, for me personally, kind of timeless. And then I saw the new one and I was like, it's another one of those. Then I saw the documentary about the plans for the original Dune that never happened. And now I actually like the new Dune. I watched it again after I saw that documentary. And now I can see a lot of things from the original planned Dune became part in the new one now. And now I do like the new one. The new one is actually a really good movie, and I do want to watch the second one, and I want to see the third one and get an end to the story, because the original Dune didn't end the story. It ended the movie, but the story is just too big for one movie. But with some stuff, when I see the remake or remaster, when it comes to movies or something like that, I'm like, oh fuck, why? The original is good. It's still good. There is no need to remake that, you know? So,
the thing is, for me, the best Dead Space is Dead Space 2 and not Dead Space 1. So when it comes to remake of Dead Space 1, it's not like I'm against it, but it's like you should do at least on the level of the first one or better. And not do it we're doing it with basically similar budget, but with inflation cost, it's going to be much smaller budget. And without the team who wanted to make the first game. You basically bringing the new team with the new vision that's drastically different from the original vision.
Yeah, that might be a bigger problem with a few things when it comes to remakes or remasters. If nobody from the original isn't there anymore, it's hard to replicate the original motivation and feeling and soul that went into something.
I think it's might be related to amount of time and effort you willing to put into the project. Well, System Shock 1.
We can or might see how Gothic works out, because that's exactly that. Piranha Bytes was such an awesome German studio and company. It's hard to get close to them. And like you said, Gothic is its own monster, and you do have expectations. I also have the expectations for the remake, and I have higher hopes now because they actually listened to feedback. They had a demo or something, and people were shitting on it, and they realized, okay, we wanted too much of our own vision into Gothic, and we, the original fans, don't want a new vision. We want the original modernized. Like you said, we don't want a completely new game. We want the original. So in some ways it needs to be modernized, obviously, fight mechanics and whatever, but in some ways it needs to be original. You cannot take a character that we know how he looks, or the
looks, act, and what we basically was, how he basically was introduced.
Yeah. And then they started, for example, to introduce cloaks for characters. Why? I mean, yeah, you have cloaks in Gothic, but not with your freaking main characters. And yeah, they changed a few characters so much that they were basically not recognizable anymore. The developers realized it. That's also why it's still not out. And they changed the whole starting and everything. If you play the demo now, I didn't play what they had out back then, but if you play the demo now and you know the original Gothic, it starts a bit different, but you do get the idea of Gothic already at the beginning.
Okay, maybe that could work.
So
because when it comes to remake of Persona 3, I can say that it's basically one of the perfect remake that can ever exist. It's taking what already was in the original and adding a modernized feeling to it.
a company who does that really, really good in most of their games is Night Dive Studios. System Shock is by far the best remake, in my opinion, ever made. It's absolutely 100% true to the original. If you know the original and you play the remake, you recognize it 100% in every corner, even though it is much more modern, obviously, when it comes to graphics and everything. If you know the key codes from back then, and the first key card you find, I still memorize that code. It's the same. If you recognize or memorize secret areas or anything, they're exactly the same. They had to change a few things because, well, you have to modernize that, so a few gameplay elements are different now than back then. But it is the same game, just super modernized. And that's an absolutely epic remake. One of the, if not the best remake of all times. That's really, really awesome. One of a really bad remake, and it's not from Night Dive, and I knew that it might fail, was Kingpin. Kingpin Reload is just garbage. You can just play the original. Mod the original, you have the original soundtrack and everything, and it's a better game.
And the funny thing is, with Kingpin Reload, it's the same studio that released Tomb Raider trilogy.
Really?
Yes.
The one that just came out?
Yes. I think it's the same guys.
Yeah, the weird thing is, and that's see, the thing is, are they the developers or are they part of the? No, okay, no, they are here in the developer as well. Okay, so Graven was a game I was kind of looking forward to, but it's not as good as it was supposed to be. The weird thing is that Ghost Runner is, yeah, that's the thing. Slipgate stands in the developer part as well, so they did something for Ghost Runner, but it didn't make the game. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I do know Slipgate. Slipgate is an old company, but I don't know. The other games.
I think I mixed it up. Not Kingpin, but what's
Still surprised that
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Oh, no, that is Night Dive. Star Wars is Night Dive. I could be wrong.
Not that Star Wars, Battlefront.
Ah, okay, Battlefront. Wait, Battlefront is EA, isn't it?
Battlefront Classic.
The Classic Collection, yeah. Take it. That wasn't the one that was. Okay, okay, that's what I mean. Aspire. Okay. No. That's again the thing. They had to do something with it. But the trilogy is from Crystal Dynamics. It's weird. I really hate when they put more than one developer. It can only be one developer. It's one studio making the game. Don't put the other shit in it.
When it comes to games like Cyberpunk, it's really complicated because besides CD Projekt Red, studio that was helping with fixing the Cyberpunk was freaking hell, I forgot the name of the studio. Well, Russian developers also helped with developing Cyberpunk. They basically helped fix this game.
Yeah, but it only says CD Projekt Red.
Yes, because those guys were contracted workers and they listed as additional help in
the
credits.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it should be. Here in this case, well, I didn't look into the details or anything. Crystal Dynamics is the original creator of Tomb Raider. So
well, yeah, under the different name, but yes.
Yeah, it was Crystal Dynamics.
Was it always Crystal Dynamics?
Yeah, it's Crystal Dynamics. It's like a 30-year-old company or so.
I do remember that I saw foxes on the cover.
Yeah, Crystal Dynamics is the original developer on the PlayStation.
Or design.
Whatever. I think that Crystal Dynamics in this case might have been involved with helping, because the game does use the original levels and everything, so it does look modern, but you have the old school controls which work in the modernized version without problems because it's based on blocks, and the modern controls, they must be pretty bad in the game. Because
it's not like they're bad, but they definitely feel alien for a person who know how it should look like.
Yeah, they don't fit because they don't take into account that, well, the original controls, it's always in blocks. You jump one block, you step one block or whatever. It's always those blocks. And you stop when you get to an edge. You don't fall down directly. You have to kind of force to fall down. And with a new one, you can basically fall down anywhere, jump anywhere, land anywhere. The camera is like, fuck you, I don't know where you are. So, they messed up the camera in that a little bit. A friend of mine finished it completely. He really enjoyed it. But I do know that that game does have its issues. I still want to get it eventually,
definitely.
But yeah,
it's still pretty good.
Oh yeah, for port or for remaster, definitely. And since you have the original in it, it's also kind of. I can accept a remaster like this. First, you get 3 games for the price. For less than a normal game would cost. So you basically pay less than $10 per game, and you get all the DLCs included as well. I'm mostly interested because there are a few DLCs in it that I didn't play back in the day. Not sure if I'm getting it because, well, I have Tomb Raider 1 Anniversary Edition, which is a modern version, where you have modern controls and everything from Tomb Raider Underworld, the engine, it looks really good. You do recognize the original, and I'm totally fine with that remaster. So,
well, the thing is, it's remaster, and Tomb Raider Anniversary is a remake that was made to fit into new trilogy.
It has nothing to do with the new trilogy. I don't know.
It is part of a new trilogy.
Tomb Raider Anniversary is the original Tomb Raider 1. It has nothing to do with any reboots or anything. It is just Tomb Raider 1 done. Nothing else. Not related to any game that came in the past. after it. I don't know what you mean, but this is only Tomb Raider 1. There's no mentioning about any later game whatsoever in the whole game. I played it. I didn't finish it, but I did play it. So I don't know what you're talking about. It has nothing to do with
I also played it. I know that in Tomb Raider Underworld there are mentions of anniversary.
Yeah, because that plays in the past in the storyline.
This remake was made specifically to fit within within the trilogy. That was well, I forgot how the first game, how the first remake was named. Wait, first reboot was named.
They might have integrated it in the mentioning of another game, but that doesn't make any sense because this came out after Legend.
Oh yeah, it came out after Legends, but before Underworld.
I didn't hear anything in Underworld. I finished Underworld. I don't know anything about Anniversary in Underworld. Zero. Nada. Yeah, there might be a mentioning about something, but they don't. How is it mentioned in the game?
I don't remember. All I do remember that it's supposed to be one package.
Nah. Oh, that's nah. You. I don't know. I don't know how you come up with that idea. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it have the same feeling.
It also, it's the same engine. That's, it feels a lot like Legend and Underworld because it is the same base engine. So that's why it feels modern and stuff. But well, if they talk about Tomb Raider 1 and Underworld, yeah, it makes sense because it happened. What else? It's a follow-up on... Well, Tomb Raider started with 1 and continued until they rebooted it. And then it started new. So, yeah, obviously, a lot of those games reference older games, but they don't say anything about Anniversary or so. And there's no gameplay added to the Anniversary edition that wasn't in the original.
Second.
So you're mixing
Tomb
up
Raider
something.
Legend is unlisted on Steam?
Legend? No, that should still be there.
I can see store page, but I can't see price tag.
€7. Still there. And those games were all made by Crystal Dynamics as well. Back then, I think it was Eidos Crystal Dynamics or something like that. But it was always Crystal Dynamics. Until the reboot. The reboot is not from them anymore. That was the first thing where a lot of Tomb Raider fans were like, what? A Tomb Raider game without Crystal Dynamics? What? So yeah.
Yes, okay. Core design, it was till 2006. In 2006, they will already become Crystal Dynamics and released Legend.
Yeah. Still, Anniversary is Tomb Raider 1. That's it. There's no mentioning in the Anniversary of any other game than just the first game, because there is no other... There doesn't exist any story yet, because it is the very first game, so...
And you're saying that Persona is complicated. Following Tomb Raider also not really easy thing to do.
It started with 1 and it went to 6 or something. Then they stopped, and now they rebooted. Nothing complicated
and then they
about
rebooted again.
Nah, that's a remaster. The 1 to 3 is a remaster, it's not a reboot.
I mean, they go to Legend, it was first reboot. And then Tomb Raider that goes into Shadows and Rise.
Legend wasn't a reboot.
It was a reboot.
Nah, it's exactly the same character that we looked at 20 years before already. With the hot pants, the boobs, the 2 pistols, all the stuff that's gone in the reboot. Literally gone in the reboot. You have a bow and arrows. Yeah, you still have tits, but it's not the main thing that you see from the character. That was the reboot. There was no reboot in Legend. They just, they continued with the... You can call it... it's not really a reboot. They brought it back. There wasn't much going on Tomb Raider-wise for a few years, and then they brought it back. I wouldn't call that a reboot, because it's still...
Yeah, for me it's like first try to reboot Tomb Raider after Angel of Darkness.
Yeah, well, that's... I tried that game so often, it's just such a trash game. That was 6, yeah. It's just a shit game.
Hey, they put Steam put Tomb Raider 6 in the name.
Yeah,
it's not like Tomb Raider 5 already was a good game.
Is it Chronicles? Yeah, well, I did play it. It was okay, but that's the reason why, Angel of Darkness was so shit that they didn't do any Tomb Raider anymore.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back. Yeah, well, you can call it kind of like a soft reboot.
So, well, comparing to the original vision, even in Angel of Darkness, it was much more action focused.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, nothing in Angel of Darkness works as you would expect it. I mean, the controls...
Isn't anything that works in Angel of Darkness?
I mean, I had issues. I remember that I couldn't get off a balcony or something. I kind of managed to get on the rail, but I had to jump over something. And I don't know. Seriously, I really tried, but this is really a bad game. And it was not Crystal Dynamics. I mean, that it kinda gave it away already.
Board design is Crystal Dynamics.
This is... I hate when companies rename themselves. But I think we should come to an end slowly because it's getting late for you.
Yeah. We also already talked about Persona, other RPGs, remakes, and whatnot.
I was right. It was Eidos in the... That's why I said Eidos and Crystal Dynamics earlier.
Well, yeah, Eidos mentioned as parent company over core design.
Yeah, they were the publisher, but I had that in mind because I had the box and I still remember how the Eidos logo looks like. So they were core then back then. Okay, then I mixed that up.
Yeah, still same studio, but under the different name.
Oh, they made Rick Dangerous? Oh my god. That's a game they could remake. I hated that game so much. That game, oh my god. That game is responsible for a broken light switch. I played it with a friend after school, and for those who don't know, Rick Dangerous, at least the second one, had 5 levels. To be able to play the 5th level, you had to play the whole game from 1 to 4 in one go. Then it unlocked the 5th level, and then you could basically finish the secret level. There was no save and anything like that, and no key. No, you had to finish the whole game. It's not like it's super huge. I mean, if you know the levels, they're like a few minutes. The whole game can be finished in a half an hour, in an hour, or something like that. So we made it into level 5. I was playing. And that was the beginning of me becoming the game breaker. I went into that level, then you drop down somewhere, and I think that was the first trap, and that trap, it was like a block that pushed you in a wall, and normally it killed you. And what happened was that Rick did and was flying away. Yeah, not in my case. In my case, he was in the wall between that block and the wall, and he was in the wall and not moving anywhere. We couldn't do anything. It was done. It was locked. My friend took the disc out of his Amiga 500, threw it out of his room into the hallway, and hit a light switch with a 3.5 inch disc, the sturdy ones, and you really could take the disc and put it into with a little corner into the light switch, and it was stuck. You could stick it into the light switch. Then he took the disc, he just broke it. We never played it again. I never finished the 5th level because it was broken. I'm not sure if that was just by accident or if that level is just broken, because not many people played it, I think. So that's the reason why I want to get it again, just to finally fucking play that 5th level. But that's oh my god, he was so mad. Oh my god, was he pissed, because it's a really hard game and you can die in so many shit ways, and it takes a while to get that far with those 3 or 4 lives you start with. So it's not the easiest game. And oh my god, he was so mad. Holy shit. I wouldn't have wondered if you would have just opened the window, took the Amiga and thrown it out. But it didn't even take a second to think. No, he saw a game was broken. It took a moment, then he was like, clack, clack, whoosh. That happened in less than half a minute. Hilarious. I was just, huh? What just happened? The game was still showing on the monitor, It was, whoosh. Okay. Was so hilarious. So funny. Even funny in that moment, he was a ginger, so he had red hair, and he was just red. It was like an alarm, like an alarm light or like a siren or something went on. It was like, those comics when people get really red head and then steam comes out of their ears.
Yeah, I'm old enough to seeing that.
That was him in that moment, without the steam, but the rest was. If his mom would have come in and asked something, I think that would have ended in a family feud or something. I don't know. Times. So yeah, that's a game I wouldn't mind to see a remaster, just to see. That would be a really nice mobile game. That's a game that would work perfectly on mobile. It was a 2D game with screens that were moving and stuff. But yeah.
Don't give them too much ideas, or they will release it with buy additional life for $9.99.
There's one thing that really surprised me lately. I'm not sure if that might actually be the same company. There have been remasters of a lot of old school games, like Yas Recharged, Asteroids, Blockout, several of Gravitar, all those old school arcade games, Missile Command, and they all have a certain look to the gameplay and also the logos and everything. let's see, is that? No, that is republished from Atari. Okay, so Atari is republishing that on their own.
Let's not forget that modern Atari, it's not the Atari of the past.
Yeah, well, I know. But that's pretty cool. So they take their old games and I guess give them to new developers because there are new developers here. But they do have their modern style. So you see that they are the remasters now. And that happened a lot lately. Also a lot given away on Epic. But that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's Atari re-releasing their old games after, 50 years of Atari this year. So
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, Centipede and all those really old games are re-released in a modern look and modern gameplay. Some are still as hard as fuck as they used to be, but now they look modern. Yeah, I know. Time. I know.
I didn't expect to see this.
Wait. What?
Doki Doki.
Well, it was free. Hey, I'm a sucker for free stuff. The only free stuff that I didn't get is if it has anything to do with soccer. Like
You even took Thief 2014.
Football Manager and all that bullshit. But this year, yeah. I know it's a bit controversial, so
it's not. It was controversial only with certain group of people that usually don't play games like this.
Yeah, okay. I get it. But it's I'm not playing visual novels, that's the thing, so I have a lot of them and also a lot of those.
You have Thief 2014. I'm an idiot, I bought this game, but you took it.
Hey, somebody forced me to take it. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, we totally did not get away from the initial topic at all.
Yeah, we kinda talked about it. Then we got into remakes and remasters and whatnot.
We kinda sticked to the topic. I mean, Persona. Well, the point was to talk about the remakes, remasters, re-releases, and
how publishers basically screw us.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, Sega.
Oh, hey. So yeah, we kinda we were still in the same area, so we didn't go completely
we kinda
away.
talk about related stuff as well.
Yeah, we didn't start ranting about Starfield or something like that. So, okay.
There was a bit of Fallout 4.
Yeah. Well, kinda also fits because, well, it was a next-gen update, where everybody's still asking what the next gen is. Also funny, they released HD textures a long time ago. They have over 40 gigabytes. So you would expect super high quality. Bullshit. All they do is make your system load like shit, make the game 80 gigabytes instead of 35 or something. And the first thing that Nexus mods tells you, or every mod tells you, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. I wanted to install it, and then I read a few reviews, and I was like, why even release it? I mean, 40 gigabytes. I mean, I have a lot of 4K textures for Fallout, and all those together, even with new labels and stuff, are 20 gigabytes. Half of what they released from modders. So the AAA company is not capable of releasing 8K textures with 40 gigabytes that look like photos. Why even do it? So yeah, but at least they didn't release it as a new Fallout anniversary hype, whatever next gen game for $40.
True, it's not repeating the fate of Skyrim.
Yeah, but I think maybe the reason that Todd made money with the show now gave him less reason of re-releasing the game again.
I don't know why show popular, because as far as I've heard, it's mostly based on stuff from Fallout. It have the same vibe as Fallout 76.
I don't know. I mean, it is unrelated to all games. So it's not directly related to any game, which is cool. But you still have, well, you do know about, I don't know, what's going on in the whole world and the Commonwealth and everything. But it's nothing that you ever played in one of those games. Even though you do see or hear mentioning about certain areas, don't want to spoil something because that would spoil the end. They made sure they made sure that the show fits into the universe, and Todd had one main thing. No matter how the show runs or works out, it is not allowed to change any outcome of any game. So no matter what game you played of those 5, no matter how you ended your gameplay, positive or negative, whatever, the show fits into all of whatever you played. And that's awesome. He made sure that was the main thing that he said. Do whatever you want with stories and everything. I mean, he might have given them ideas, but you are not allowed to interfere with any possible outcomes. So that's really awesome.
Well, yeah, it's quite good that he stand his ground and said no retconning the story.
Yeah, I mean he's a producer, so, and in my opinion, he should continue to do exactly that, because the show might not be perfect, and yeah, the fanboys and everything, but I personally really liked it. It had super high quality, production quality. It was not low budget at all. It screams Fallout from every corner. You recognize the game in that show every second. It made me want to play the game again. So that's,
yeah, I saw that you're playing it.
Yeah, I modded it like a madman. You can play the character from the game as a mod and stuff. So I want to see more, and I want to see Todd produce stuff for his games. I don't want to see that asshole making games anymore. As an advisor, okay, but he needs to get away from game making. Really, he needs to get away. The moment he steps away from game making, one admin like me would go and make Control A delete on the engine. The engine will be gone the moment he steps out of. The moment he steps out of development will be the day that engine dies. Hi, Omega. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I said, I watched it already. I do have to get a little bit from the shop still, so I will be late. Don't wait for me. Just start. But I saw it already. But I will be there. Yeah, Lothar, if you're awake enough, we watch Fallout on the LTS server. So if you want to watch at least the first episode, starts in 45 minutes if you're not too tired.
It's not like I'm too tired, but I have troubles with registering information in English right now.
Oh, okay. Well, you will see. like I said, in 45 minutes, we start with episode 1 of the Fallout show, in case you're interested.
Thanks for the head up. I probably pass on it.
Alright. Okay, well, I guess we concluded then.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Fuck Sega.
I was hoping that you keep that. Alright. Lothar, thanks again for yet another streamcast. Oh my god, 5 years, 51 shows. Holy shit. Alright.
Try a bit more.
Alright, Lothar, you have a good night. Have a nice
Thanks.
rest of your weekend.
Yeah. Well, we have a long one.
Oh, you have. Oh, wait, is it Easter for you?
No, it's May 1st.
Yeah, for us. too, but-
Spring and work. Spring and Workers' Day.
Yeah, we have that too, but, well, Monday, Tuesday is still normally a work day.
We had this day as working day, and we're going to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Cool. So they were like, you know what? Screw those 2 days. Let's make it a really long weekend.
Yeah.
I
also took additional day off, so it's basically like the second day off for me.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, in my case, my boss needs to do some stuff, so I have the days off as well. And May 1st is always a holiday here in Germany, and that's the day after my birthday. So no matter what, there was never a reason for me to worry about having a hangover or not getting out of bed or anything after I had my birthday, because I never had to go to work or to school in my life on that day. So party on, it was mostly. So yeah, I'm working next Thursday again. So yeah, it's also a really long weekend for me. So, well, enjoy your free time, your vacation.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a nice time.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice watch party.
Yeah, thanks. Alright. Well, that was another fun one. And yeah, I still need to check what's going on with the farts. The rest of the alerts, they work. Like, here, this one works. Well, it should have worked, but apparently it did not. Yeah, it's the setup when we do our streamcast is a different one that I have for my normal streams. Okay, anyway, for those still listening, if you want to watch Fallout, the show, in case you didn't see it yet, down in the description is the link to the LTS Discord, and, actually let me just post the invite. Because I have Discord open here. Headset off from my head. Thank you. Let me post the link real quick, in case you want to watch it. You can do so. And yeah, like I said, you don't have to wait for me. I will definitely join and watch again, but I will miss the first few minutes, I guess. Actually, I might be able to do it. Yeah, I own your farts. That sounds really wrong. But I can't. That's the problem. I can't. Because the alert is not really working. And that gives you... shit, that's also not working. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I tried the other one and that didn't work. Why do I even expect that this works? Anyway. I think I'm gonna stream later. I'm not sure about that. Oh, ads? Yeah, ads. That makes a lot of sense at the end of my stream, and even more since I don't get 1 cent from it. Anyway, thanks for the reminder of the movie later. And yeah, that was number 51 of the Digital Homicides Streamcast with Lothar and Little Me. Next one will be in another 3 to 4 weeks from now. Let me actually check what dates we have. Yeah, might be around 25th. 25th would be in 4 weeks actually. So yeah, I guess that will be 25th will be the next stream. So I don't know what topic we will use, but could maybe be a bit more about Fallout eventually, and if the mods work or whatever shit they did. Alright, anyway, yeah, that was it from me. Thanks for hanging out, and time zone appropriate greetings everybody. Have a good one. Bye.